What's going on YouTube? My name is Joe Foster and this is becoming a full-time photographer. Now I'm going to be talking more into depth with my photography productions rebrand. In this episode we'll be talking about restyling your Instagram or your photography Instagram more specifically, and what style you should choose. Okay, so what I want to be talking about in this episode or this video is styles on your Instagram. I see a lot of people doing them, a lot of bloggers, a lot of people
know what I mean?
doing different things on their Instagram, and it becomes quite confusing, especially as a photographer, which ones you should choose. Now, the most common one that I've seen a lot is the white clean look, and as a photographer I suggest you stay away from that. The reason I suggest this is because people are posting just white photos with like maybe a little black vase or whatever. It might look okay, but it's not it's not exactly the greatest photography. As a photographer, you want to be posting portrait, landscapes, real estate, stuff like that. So you want to be posting that on your Instagram. And I don't think. Okay, so on my Instagram, what I had is I had a whole various different range of photography. So I had landscape, I had my portrait photography, which was my main one, and I also had some where I was manipulating photos and that sort of stuff. I'm very sorry about that noise at the back.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
I'll let him finish. No. Talking about stuff. So what I've decided to do with my Instagram is I've deleted all the landscapes. I did not like them, so I got rid of them. Not that I didn't like them, I thought they looked great, but they didn't look great with my Instagram and they didn't flow well. Another thing that I did is I got rid of the photo manipulations. I liked them, they did look good, but I didn't like them with my style of my Instagram. So I'll show you over here. I thought it was a great photo. It's of the girl with the orange butterfly on the blue background. Very high contrast, very dark, and the photos that I'm actually taking out in the world are very bright, very vibrant, in nature, and it just wasn't it was my photography, but it just wasn't my style of photography, even though I was quite proud of it. So what I've decided to do with my Instagram is I've got niched it down into just portrait photography. And I suggest that if you're into just landscape photography, you just post landscape photography. Or if you're into real estate photography, you just post real estate photography. Now, I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it looks better on your Instagram. If, however, you want to be doing a whole wide range of things, I suggest that you post these on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't have that 3x3 grid where you can preview 9 photos at any given time. You've got to scroll through and you go, oh yeah, I like that photo, and you can see them individually. So that's why I suggest on Instagram you niche it down, where on Facebook you can be as broad as you like. And if you have a website, you can have your different categories on your website, and then when you click into them you go, oh well, I see real estate photography, go into another one, landscape, cars, whatever it might be. So now it's up to picking a theme. Now as a photographer you're not exactly limited, you can do whatever you like, but there are limitations as to what I would suggest you do. So my suggestion is you niche it down. Again, I'm no professional or anything in the Instagram world, but I think it looks better, and to me it's more appealing. Someone I might suggest you look at is Ellen May Photography. She's from my hometown. I'll link her Instagram in the description of this video. Now, what she's doing really well is posting, say, 3 photos from the same photo shoot. Now, I think it looks really good. 3, maybe 6 photos. The reason I didn't go down this road, there's 2 reasons actually. I didn't want to copy her, because it's going to be quite obvious that I'm copying her.
Do you remember all that stuff I taught you yesterday?
Remember all that stuff I taught you yesterday?
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
And the second is I want to be posting every day. So because I've got 3 years behind me of photos that I haven't actually posted, I'm able to post every day, and I think I've got about a year's worth of content which I can post. But if you're someone who goes out on photo shoots every day, this might be a thing that you could choose, and I quite like it. Now, if you're not exactly niched down and you still want to be posting real estate photography against portrait photography, you still can do this, and there is a way of getting away with it. There are 2 sorts of things that you could do, and there's one where there's a line down the middle. So if you shoot more portrait than you do, say, real estate, you can have a portrait photo, a real estate photo, and a portrait photo. So, and then if you post 3 at a time, you'll get that nice line down the middle of real estate photography. Or if you shoot 3 different types of photos, say you shoot portrait, real estate and landscape, you could do it like that even. I don't shoot that much real estate and I don't shoot that much landscape photography to be able to keep that consistent, but if you do, go right ahead. Another idea, especially if you are shooting more than one type of thing, is as a tile theme. So you could do it that you go, this is with 2 different photography. So say if you're doing portrait and real estate, so you'll go portrait, real estate, portrait, and then you'll go landscape, you'll go portrait, real estate, portrait, real estate, portrait, real estate. And then down the bottom you'll go portrait, real estate, portrait, sort of thing. So that's like a tile thing, so it's repetitive, but it's different on each line. So that might be something you can look into as well. Or if you are just shooting portrait, you could do outside in the greenery to studio. So you do outside, inside, outside, and then inside, outside, inside, and then keep that tile theme going throughout it. Now, other things that photographers can do is apply the same filter to every photo. Now, with my photography, I don't apply the same filter to every photo or the same preset because I'm shooting in different conditions, so I can't do that. But in saying that, I find that my photos are beginning to get a style, which is like a filter, I guess, where they all look like they've had the same edit done to them. And I guess this is a good thing when becoming a photographer because people will employ you for the style. So I guess that's another reason why I got rid of my photo manipulation and my landscapes, because they weren't my style that I was trying to sell. I'm trying to sell my portrait photography. So if you have the same sort of look on most of your photos throughout your Instagram, people will employ you for the style because they like that style. If they don't like that style, that's cool, that's the style you shoot. So that they'll move on. But if they like it, they'll probably employ you because of the style. Now that filter could be black and white. So if you're a black and white shooter, but I think if you do it well, you can get away with it, but some people don't do it well and it can look pretty bad. But I guess if you're into that, just do a little bit more research into how to style a black and white Instagram and to make it look great, or how to shoot black and white images all the time. I wouldn't suggest that you do it. I don't think the world only wants black and white anymore, but I could be wrong. So yeah, just do more research if you're into that. So if you're a color photographer, you could go to the complete opposite of black and white. You could just go for full-on pop color, and just, especially if you're into portrait like model photography, you could do blue background, orange sunnies, and this a model in the middle, and then in the next one you can do the complete opposite and go orange background, blue sunnies. I don't know, I'm just shooting the ideas out there. You could literally go for that big pops of color, and that can look great too. So that might be a style that you look at going down. Another thing that if you're a photographer that you can get away with on your Instagram is, and you can post every day and still get away with this, is the white or black borders. So with the white or black borders, what it does on your Instagram is it makes it look like there's more of a gap between your images, so that way your images can stand alone a little bit more. Instead of it all sort of being really close together, like there's only a fine black line between the photos, you then separate your photos a little bit more. And I guess you can go for a different sort of theme this way because each image stands alone, and your theme would be your white border or black border. Now, as a photographer, you don't tend to shoot in squares though, so you might not have the perfect white border all the way around, like the same length on the top, sides and bottom. You can still get away with this when you shoot like 4x5s, where you might only have the top, so say if you've got a landscape, you've got the white at the top of the tops, but not on the sides. And then on your like portrait ones, you've got it down the sides and not at the tops. It can look okay, and I guess you could mix it up, or you could go for that there's more white on the sides and a little bit of white at the top. Do some more research. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have for this video. There are lots of different styles. I'll link a blog down into the description where I've got some of this information from. But what I wanted to be talking about is what style you use with your photography. So I hope it gave you some inspiration. This is becoming a full-time photographer, and this is Jai Foster. Over and out.